Gold. People love the idea of having this metal, and those rich ones have their both hands sunken on this shiny metal. Gold is not only the friend of women, but also to investors. For centuries, investors have turned to gold as a safe haven, which stores value during times of downturn, volatility, or crisis. And if you look at the current situation, it is no different today. You may hear some of the financial analysts saying that gold's rally is far from over. However, what makes most to wonder why gold is so valuable anyway? More importantly, will gold still have value in the future? Well, in this video, we will be talking about why gold is expensive. Before we get on to that, please consider liking and subscribing to our channel. It helps us out a lot with the YouTube algorithm, and it lets us know that we're helping to enrich lives out there. And without any further ado, let's get right on to the video. From the perspective of being a metal, gold is very uninteresting. It barely reacts with any other element. Yet of all of the 118 elements in the periodic table, gold is the one we humans have always chosen to use as currency. To understand why, let us have an elaborative look at the gold. Nobody can exactly tell when gold was discovered, but archaeologists have found traces of gold in ancient caves that date all the way back to 40,000 BC. Some of the oldest known gold artifacts were found in Varna necropolis in Bulgaria. Of all the metals, gold is the easiest to work with. It can be found naturally as dust or nuggets and has a low melting point, making it easy to shape with basic tools at room temperature. This was important in ancient times as they did not have advanced technology for complex metal works. It has been gifted to gods, created mythical golden cities like El Dorado, and created real-life gold rushes across the world spanning from Canada to South Africa. The metal has been the driving force behind the rise and fall of empires, inspired wars that left permanent scars. Make sure to watch till the end as we will talk about how and why gold can retain its value. People who understand metals will know that gold is not a rare metal, but it's difficult to find and extract the gold in large quantities with pre-industrial technology. It is harder to find a single 1-ounce nugget than it is a 5-carat diamond. Gold, soft to the touch with a satisfying weight to hold, boasts some unique qualities compared to other metals, predominantly its indestructible nature and resilience. The chemically inactive nature of gold makes it anti-corrosive and resistant enough to remain unchanged for thousands of years. Gold's everlasting abilities mean it takes unworldly forces to form. According to the scientists, none of the gold that has ever been extracted was formed on Earth. What they are assuming that gold is actually produced as stars collided billions of years ago. The jewelry people wear is made of metal that is from the early stage of the Earth. So gold is durable, rare, and malleable. This is how it came to be the basis of trade back in early civilizations. It was also portable and easy to measure and identify, making it the perfect medium for trade. The first gold coins were made in early Lydia, now Western Turkey, in the 6th century BC. The idea of gold coins of uniform weight, size, and identity spread amongst kingdoms and was quickly adopted as the de facto currency by civilizations. French historian Fernand Braudel deemed gold and silver as the lifeblood of the Mediterranean trade in the 2nd millennium BC. It was traded simply by weight in the form of bars. Gold also gave rise to the earliest concept of money. In the early 4,000-year-old Code of Hammurabi, the world's possible first written code of laws, the word mene was a term used to denote the weight of gold to be paid to resolve civil conflicts or resolve crimes committed. Thus, a specific amount of gold, or silver, is perhaps the earliest written word for money itself. Eventually, standardized coins and bars came to permanently replace classic barter trading, making universal trade in the past much easier. Gold is rare, okay, but isn't other metals as rare as gold? Well, the answer is yes, and I know what your next question will be. Why those metals weren't used to make coins? Why was gold chosen as the standard? There are 8 metals, including platinum, silver, and gold, which have a similar type of characteristics as gold. They are known as the noble metals. Noble because they stand apart, barely reacting with the other elements. Except for gold and silver, the other metals are so rare that you would have to cast some very tiny coins or jewelry, which you might easily lose. They are also very hard to extract. So the competition steps forward with only 2 contenders, gold and silver. Both are scarce but not impossibly rare and can be easily turned into coins, bars, or jewelry. But remember the anti-corrosive and inert nature of gold that made it the winner? Silver corrodes. It will react with sulfur present in the air. Gold's inertness is a real deal. You can create an elaborate golden jaguar and be confident that 1,000 years later, it can be found in a museum display case. Well, they made it billions of years into the future without any change, so you get the idea. If you simply want to know how the price of gold is actually calculated and who is responsible for putting and changing the price tag of gold, then there is a simple answer for you actually. The price of gold is not set by any organization. It mainly depends on the cost of producing it and how people are willing to pay for it. As it is rare and relatively expensive to produce, so the base price must be fairly high. Look at aluminum, for example. This metal is much more common in the Earth's crust than gold, so it's cheaper to produce. If the demand is low, which is scarcely the case, the price will stay closer to the actual cost of production. So if you want the simple answer of how the price of gold goes up and down, two things are responsible for that: supply and demand. As we're entering the last part of our video, please consider liking and subscribing to our channel. The world is not that simple, and that's why there are several other factors that contribute to gold being that much more expensive. Number 1, a safe haven. Gold is not as exposed to market or political factors like foreign exchange or other commodities such as oil. On top of that, gold doesn't need the backing or guarantees of a bank, government, or anyone else. That is why this metal is treated by investors as a safe haven asset that can hold its value when other assets can't. It's also hoarded by central banks to act as a reserve currency or an internationally recognized asset that can be wielded in times of need. The stock, financial, or commodity markets are volatile, making gold like a port in a storm for those investors. Number 2, inflation. Inflation is in the news because the prices of goods that everyone around the world depends on are going up as time passes, like food and fuel. Because inflation generally leads to central banks expanding the supply of money to counteract the price of gold. So the price of gold tends to go up in times of higher inflation and fall when economies are in a deflationary state. Furthermore, gold has an inherently limited supply, which rarely undergoes significant changes from one year to the next. Therefore, gold is treated as an inflation hedge. Number 3, falling currency values. Currency values have an effect on the price of gold. Because the value of some paper currencies has been plummeting fast in recent decades, it makes gold appear more expensive, when in reality, the value has remained constant and it simply takes more dollars to purchase the same amount of gold than in the 90s. Once, many of the world's currencies, including the USA, were on a gold standard system, a solution that eliminated the problem of currency inflation altogether by tying paper money to physical precious metals, which is not followed by any country now. But many believe that a return to the gold standard would be a positive change for the world. Applicational industries, financial markets, and jewelry stand as a cross-sectional demand drivers for gold. That simply means we can be sure that as long as people continue to use gold as investments or as jewelry, gold has and always will be in demand. And it is very much possible that gold could even become more expensive in the coming years, because in the coming days, the gold's finite source of supply will deplete. Coupled with the increase in mining costs, we can be confident that gold prices will significantly increase. Well guys, that's it for this video. Click the links above to check out some of our other videos. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content just like this. We have many great videos coming up, so see you guys in the next one.